Alright guys, welcome back to Kings of the Old World Qualifier number 4. And we've got JulianK, also known as Floco, the wonderful treaty and deathmatch player, here up against minimoult, the long-term supremacy player. I think has a hand in the overlay mod that we see here that really lets us remember all the shipments. That's a hell of a boon in live casting because you don't get access to players' home cities for some reason. And on top of that, in replays it also tells you all the techs that are active, which is useful because in replays you don't get access to seeing what techs the players have actually got to go and have researched out of production buildings other than out of the trading posts, although that's pretty handy. Not so much for the XP ones, but for the rural houses and the native towns, definitely. Anyway, we've got, JulianK, also known as Floco, here in the Chinese, up against minimoult on the French. Minimoult in the blue, Floco in the light blue. Both our players opening with early trading posts here. And Dazahua working on a treasure here. 60 wood, that's pretty significant. Nice early wood treasure. Be able to add a village now. Minimoult. That's the one house for now. Doesn't look to be adding anything else, just more Karur. So probably just going for a very quick age up here. He's not gathering any resources other than food. He's going to try and steal the treasure but not be successful, but try and pick off the disciple instead. A little bit of XP, every little bit counts here. It also will slow down Julian's ability to try and attain the treasures if he can pick him off, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to. And Julian forcing minimoult back momentarily. So Julian is shipping northern refugees, just getting the 2 villages for the moment. Minimoult sent the 3 Karur. So Julian just eating the fact that he doesn't natively get 3 villages out of his shipment. He needs to actually get a second village to do so. But the boy is well versed in boom versus quick tech mentality build, so I'm sure he'll be fine. Well, minimoult, no eco techs for him, but the Karur do gather a little bit faster innately. So getting a whole 0.2 food per second, which is a lot when you're only gathering about 0.8 per second before any upgrades. So both players getting another shipment, and Julian contending with the fact that there's exotic hardwoods on the way for our French player as he's transitioning to the wood. Minimoult taking his age up while Julian not sending his shipment for now. Not going to go quick tea export. Instead, considering all his options, as he goes. Well, he's about to go towards his age 2. And if he waits, he gets some pretty big resource and unit cards. You know, a lot of Chinese players will basically always just go the Summer Palace, get the tea export for the easy blockhouse, but Julian has another plan this game. Minimoult adding his market, he's going to start getting eco techs behind this. So we'll probably see, there we do, Gangsaw on the way first, and he'll probably add his hunting dogs and place of mines behind this, because he'll want to get back on the gold and the food. Doing a good job at bringing back this hunt. And Julian just focusing on getting his wonder down. Summer Palace going to give him access to a bunch of free units, and he's not sending any shipments just yet. So he might just abstain until he can get some of these big resource cards or send a lot of Chuko New or Step Riders. But I think if he goes for Step Riders, it might be difficult because I think at the moment the cavalry oriented and the musket oriented houses just end up steamrolling the step riders on maps like this. So we're going to see a House of Oldenburg and a House of Julian under control of Minimoult right now, and he does actually have vision of the other two houses over the other side of the map, same one. So native treaties, we're going to see another native rush. Oh, how surprising! He's playing French or Inca, and he's doing a native rush on one of the new maps. How surprising! Nah, just kidding, guys. I'm not going to talk like I'm an expert at the game, because I'm certainly not. But I have casted a few games now across the tournament, and that seems to be a bit of a theme. Even been knocked out of tournament games, the same sort of thing. Although by players on other civs, because I'm bad enough for them to get away with it. But French and Inca in particular seem to be really good civs to go for a native treaties rush after you get one or two of these houses. And in Inca's case, you're going to have a alliance with one of the Native American civs. So you can end up getting quite a few units here. Nice little mix of units. It's really what's going to be good about this. I think if you've only got the one house control, if you send the native treaties shipment, you actually end up with just as many units. It's just not as varied. I think it's really only if you get like 3 different houses that it's actually like an insane amount of units. And there aren't many civs, aren't many maps these days where there is 3 different native alliances you can get. Particularly in competitive, it's all balanced around 1 to 2. Otherwise, native rushes end up being way too strong, particularly for civs like Inca, who get a bunch of free native units out of cards. You get a bunch of native alliances, sorry. So Julian just trying to defend now, dropping a villager. Minimoult, some nice aggression off this native rush. Minimoult going to start producing Royal Huntsmen as well, so we can use these guys to gather as though they are Karura as well. So they do take up population, a bit like the Karura that the Iroquois allies let you build. Are we allowed to call them that these days? Are they even called that? Am I thinking of the right people? I don't know. I'm sorry. Don't want to offend anybody. Triggered. So we've got a War Academy on the way for Julian. He's going to have to defend a little bit here, but he's going to get a free army. With Sarmatism. Tell me what you do. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Doesn't actually tell me what the upgrade does. I have big sad now. Is that because the player doesn't have the setting enabled to actually tell me? I mean, all the units have their advanced tooltip. Man, I don't fucking know. Some days, this game, man, some days, man. Oh, man, some days, man, this game, fucking hell, man. It's the worst thing ever, man. I'm still gonna play 8 hours a day, bro. Actual gamer mentality. Gamer moment. So, the Zauha gonna get picked off. There's a healthy number of units here for our Chinese defender, but there's not enough range for him to really just sit around doing this. He can't really do so. He's got to engage with the pikeman who doesn't want to, so Julian basically giving up all of those Chuko New, I was going to say skirmisher, all those Chuko New for free there. Minimoult going to go to Fortress. I mean, sorry, Julian going to go to Fortress. Minimoult just sitting in commerce for now, getting a lot of wood. So we're going to play a bit expansively. Getting another trading post. And perhaps even looking to get another one behind this, considering how much wood he's got in the way. He's even having it sent there from the trade line. He's up 2-1 over Julian. The eco, which is a little bit rough for Julian, but he's got tech in mind. Porcelain Tower on the way. So this insane shrine generation that he can actually flick between or generate all resources. So 4.5 food per second. Liquipedia is being sent as well. So minimoult, this cavalry, isn't going to be able to pick off units like this for much longer. Back the nice garrison there. Town center sniping one of the Tartar. Minimoult having to back off for the minute. So Minimoult's got all of his tier 1 eco. Oh no, sorry, not his tier 1 eco tech, but a nice mix of techs there. Yeah, sorry, he's got all tier 1 food and wood techs, hardwoods, and he's even got spice trades, so a food tech shipment there. Better hunt gathering. So JulianK, meanwhile, no eco techs because he's just beelined this Fortress Age, but now he's got a nice composition. He's had another army sent there by his Summer Palace, and another one's about to pop out. Ship the Arquebusiers. Gonna send a shipment of units from his consulate now. Intervention. Start training forbidden armies from the Summer Palace instead. Meteor hammers. Getting Chang'dao Arquebusier from the War Academy instead now too. So Minimoult not going to be able to produce as many trading post units behind this now, but he's already got the 11 raw huntsmen, so there'll be some handy food gatherers to have around the map, mixed amongst his regular eco. So 33 to 28 is the Vil count in favour of Minimoult, but JulianK is taking out one, looks to take out another trading post. Nice bit of XP going his way. His Shock Riders have to contend with the fact that most of this army is now anti-cavalry, other than maybe the Steppe Riders and the Chuko New now, but even still, does JulianK have enough here? Because that's a lot of mounted units here for Minimoult. An insane rush of all these native units. Minimoult. Population deceiving, 35 pop, but as units are falling in this fight for him, nothing happens to his population. Well, JulianK's population taking a bit of a hit. Ooh, but Minimoult's accidentally attacked the treasure in the middle of the fight, so he's got to try and de-garrison it. And now he's actually won the fight here, so JulianK having to ship a lot of units here. Bunch of redcoats making it in. And some more Chang'dao Arquebusier. These forbidden armies shipping more Chang'dao as well. Minimoult aging up behind this. Ooh, and he's got one raw huntsman locked up there that he can't actually send. So he could even look at cancelling that. Get a little bit of resources back. He's going to get his steel traps and log plume, while JulianK is attempting to sack another trading post, and this time he might be able to get away with it. I don't think Minimoult's got the army to contest with this many redcoats. Hunter's going to try and chip away at one of them, but not really going to be successful. Minimoult having to find an opportunity to raid Julian here, but this is a nice move because he's well past the slower infantry army. All these villagers going to have to garrison. One or two of them perhaps going to fall here. Ooh, Minimoult is going to get a couple of vills and back out there, so a nice raid there, forcing a lot of garrisons and a couple of vills to fall. Julian having to step back for the minute and defend. Minimoult is going to start getting veteran Oldenburg units, and it looks like he's already got veteran Jagiellonian units. Really nice having balance of powers there, because if his eco gets too out of whack here, he can always turn the food into other resources. And the real beauty of that is he's going to gather food faster than his other resources, so it actually acts as a market that gains him value, a bit like the market from the Golden Gate building from AoE 4 and other similar structures, as well as the overtime trickle of the new Lombards for the Italian Civ. in AoE 3. So we've got double barracks here now for minimoult. Now that he's gone with his second town center and his fortress age, he's prepared to switch to more standard units from the native units, while Julian really starting to overwhelm the initial mounted rush. Just trying to take out another one of these trading posts. So it's good for minimoult to try and switch from trading post, and he's even gone for a third town center. A little greedy, but he may get away with this L-shaped base if he can defend all three TCs. It'll be his opponent taking the L, I can tell you that much. But Julian, ooh, is just narrowly missing out about the town center going down. And a raiding attempt picking off a villager there. Well, more of them forced to garrison here by Julian. So minimoult some impressive raiding once again, pulling his opponent well away from his new and fairly aggressive town centers. Well, he musters up a conventional force of skirmishers. Julian still got shipments in queue. He's got Manchurian cavalry archers on the way. He's Gaunt of oh no, he's still in fortress age though. But he's been saving up the gold to actually send these huge shipments of the Manchus. So these guys are solid unit to try and contend with this many shock riders and upgraded Tartars. Changdao, Redcoat, also offering a really impressive army here for minimoult. I mean for Julian, and minimoult are going to have to try and muster up enough in the way of skirmishes in response to this. Julian now up to 110 pop. Minimoult says 69, but it's a little bit deceiving. He still has so many of these house units. Julian deciding whether or not he wants to raid his opponent somewhere here. Bearing in mind, minimoult has 3 villager production going on behind this, and for now Julian not producing any vills. He needs to get a bit more food with his eco. He's got a few idlers. Quite a lot of gold for Julian at the moment. Royal Mint now for minimoult. Interesting engagement here because I think JulianK has a bit of an army advantage. And the Manchus are extending a little bit while they focus down the shock riders. Changdao probably could just engage as well. Minimoult looks like for now he's forced Julian back. Julian starting villager production once again. Minimoult starting that triple villager production once again. So Julian's probably got to look at adding a couple of TCs behind this if he can. Otherwise he risks minimoult looking at out macroing here because it's 46 to 34 in the vill count. Won't be long before it's double his opponent's vill count. Imperial bureaucracy for Julian, so he's going to reap the reward of all these eco-techs that he started to get now. So initially he was focusing on the age up tech itself, also targeting a lot of wood behind this, and minimoult picking off a couple of Julian's villages and his explorer now. A couple of units also going down and the villagers having to flee. So minimoult, really solid push now from him. (52 to 32) the vill count. So minimoult's greed behind this. He's been a little bit lucky to not have that top town center scouted, I think, too, when it was being built. But he's really punishing Julian for playing so techy, but not booming enough, really. So, free hot air balloon here for minimoult. He's going to get a bit good scan of Julian's base now. While Julian adding some more Ming troops. Julian going for a bit of a raid here. But, I mean, these are native villages that minimoult spawned. And he's also got the 3 vil production, so 55 to 34 is the vil count. Julian's going to have to get a lot of villager kills. And like I said, add another town center or two to really catch up from here. He is a great macro player, so it's surprising to see him get caught playing so techie, I think. And minimoult, impressive army of skirms and Tatars there. It looks like Julian getting ready for one last hurrah. These iron troops coming forward. They are going to have a good fight against the skirmishers, but there's just not enough of them considering there's 36 skirms now. And minimoult now up to 98 pop. Julian up to 113, but we also have a huge number of Tatars and Shock Riders here for minimoult, so I think he actually has a slightly bigger army through all this. Oh, actually, in saying that, he's got a lot more villages than Floco, but Floco's down to 29 villages while this is all going on. So Julian, his eco's in tatters. He really needs to deal a lot of damage to minimoult here, who's up to 61 vils at triple TC production. Julian needs to win this next fight if he can. But minimoult, he's been truly resilient this game. The trading post might fall. The town center might fall and he'll still be up in terms of the TC count. He's just trying to take a favourable fight. Underneath that town center, he's got all the vils garrisoned. And he's shipping, well, he's just building more vils for the minute. Julian adding Forbidden Army. Close to another shipment. minimoult just getting another shipment, but he hasn't quite sent it yet. So minimoult now training a couple more skirms. Will it be enough? Here we go. 8 more skirms in the queue for him. The skirm count starting to really dwindle. He's really running out of Tatars at the moment, but Julian, most of his infantry has been killed now, and there's still these skirms joining the fight now. It looks like minimoult might have cleaned up Julian's push right now. Julian 31 vils and 61 still for minimoult. He still has that town center advantage. So I think Julian, now that this fight is lost, may resort to defending or tapping out here. He's going to send some meteor hammers. minimoult going towards the industrial age. He's defended and he's over 100 pop. 63 vils to the 32. Now Julian fleeing, but I don't know if he's got enough to hang on here. He's resorting to having to gather off the berries. He does have a hunt down here, but he's careful to not have all of his villages exposed, because there's been so much raiding from minimoult. So even if he gets on these deer over here, it could be a bit tough for him. But it's a bit of a loss to be gathering on them rather than the hunt. And GG, Julian just runs out of steam against minimoult's onslaught.